Hi, I'm the Mad Computer Scientist and welcome to my channel. On this channel I discuss math, computer science, and technology topics that are of interest to me. If you are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell so you will always get the latest updates. If you are not new, please leave a comment and, if nothing else, hit the like button. Also, it really helps me if you share this content out to people who are interested in it, or you can even share it out to people who annoy you. As long as we get the views in a legitimate way that makes YouTube happy, we do not care on this channel. Today we're going to discuss something known as the alignment problem, one of the biggest problems facing artificial intelligence developers today. Now, if you're thinking about chaotic good, chaotic evil, chaotic neutral, lawful good, lawful evil, lawful neutral, or true good, true neutral, or neutral evil, you are thinking about the wrong thing when it comes to alignment. If you are curious about those alignments, I suggest you consult your local Dungeons & Dragons group. When it comes to artificial intelligence, we're not talking about ethical alignments in the terms of a person. We're talking about how ethics and values align with the society, and more specifically, which society and whose values do they align with. This is not a new problem either. Computer scientists and artificial intelligence researchers have known about this problem for years, and it is a major area of research, according to one of my computer science professors who shall remain nameless, that needs to be addressed. Brian Christian is not someone who's new to this field. He's been published in Daedalus and Cognitive Science, and he has worked as a software developer, and he's written the book I mentioned earlier, as well as a book about how we apply algorithms in our everyday life. Now, if you're a mathematician watching this, you already use algorithms every day, usually invented by some dead Greek or possibly Euler. Now, as a computer scientist, we often implement a lot of the algorithms you use in code, as I have done with both Euclid's least common multiple algorithm for computer science classes, and of course the trial division algorithm, which you can see as a video on this channel if you are so interested. If you've been on social media at all in the past year or so, you have probably seen stories about an LLM suggesting something dangerous and stupid because it hallucinated. Now check out my video about why LLMs hallucinate and the ways we can stop it for further information there. One of the more infamous ones was a recent one in the spring of 2025 when Elon Musk tweaked Grok so that Grok would only support the tales of white African genocide, something that is known to be not happening. A more infamous and less harmful example that happened earlier last year was when Google's Gemini bot came up and told people a way to get toppings to stick on pizza, which was to use super glue. Now, these are things, but it will come up, if any of those topics are triggered, with self-help and counseling resources if you're going to search for mental health topics, particularly mental health topics that might lead to an emergency state. Now, there is also a more benign form. There's also a more benign form used by weaker artificial intelligence algorithms, such as the content selection algorithms used on Google, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, one of the problems here is that they try to determine whether we're Republican, Democrat, and our political views, and try to feed us only the content they agree with. So essentially, we all increasingly get filtered into our own information bubbles. And while information bubbles are not necessarily bad, they can lead to something we should go out of our way to avoid, and that's known as an echo chamber. In fact, the way that social media selection algorithms have contributed to the polarization of society is one of the areas of research that falls under the umbrella of the alignment problem. And it's not one that we have yet solved, partly because there is no corporate incentive to solve these problems. Hopefully I've given you a few things to think about today when it comes to the alignment problem. The issue is we really need to make sure that these programs align with our values. And of course, one of the major problems with all of these large language models is that they are all controlled by major corporations or nations. And because they are controlled by major corporations or nations, they may not necessarily align with the values that we as individuals value. And it seems that we may have to ask the question that Ford Perfect asked in the last Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book when it came to who took over the guide and why they were doing it. The question was, with the new guide, who is it really doing all of this for? And when it comes to large language models that we are not in control of because we don't have thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to spend on data centers and energy costs, we have to ask who's controlling these large language models and what are their agendas. We also have to make sure that when we do create these models, they are aligning with the values of the society that produced them, and we also have to make sure that these large language models aren't used for propaganda purposes, as is the case of what's happening between the United States and China right now in the race over artificial intelligence. Sorry if this was a bit of a downer, everyone, but if you're interested in the alignment problem, you can check out Brian Christian's books. He has other books, by the way, including one about how algorithms are used in our life, and I will include some helpful resources down below so you can read further. Remember everyone, like, comment, and subscribe because it helps the channel grow, and go out and write some code.